This video is a short introduction to the Widgets functionality in Document X 2010. Widgets are a configurable and extendable library of content helpers that make it really easy to embed dynamic content within your topics and within your content files. The best way to illustrate exactly what widgets do is to give you a quick demo of how you'd use them in your content. So I'm going to select an existing paragraph here in the middle of my content. I'm going to use the widget button from the content authoring tab in the ribbon to select a drop down section widget. Now what this will do is take my paragraph that I had selected here and it will embed it within a collapsible and expandable section within my content. This functionality is something you'll find quite often in help files, but it's usually something that's quite involved to put together because it involves JavaScript and star sheets behind the scenes and requires a fair amount of boilerplate HTML or handcrafting of these sections within your content. And what widgets do is package that functionality up into something that can be really quickly and easily put to use in your content. Now if I just quickly switch to source mode here, what we can see is this widget element within the XHTML source, and that contains just the heading text and just the content for the drop down section. So none of the scripting, none of the style sheets and supporting functionality has to be present in my topics here to make that widget work. The only thing I'm actually storing is the content that's specific to that widget. And that's really important because it allows me to change this widget over time if I want to change the look and feel, swap out that bullet image with another one without having to go back to rework everywhere I happen to have used that widget. So the editable areas in the widgets here, the areas surrounded with these grey dotted lines, can contain any content that I want. They don't have to contain just text, they can contain images or other widgets that can be nested inside them. So I'm just going to include a second widget within the content area of my drop down section here. So again, dropping down the widget list here, I'm going to go with a note box and just type a quick note about this particular section. So the point here really is that widgets can be used anywhere that content can, and content can be included within these editable sections of the widget in the same way as they can be used anywhere else in the content editing environment. And all of the same tools and techniques that you would use anywhere else in the content editor can be used within the widget areas. One kind of widget I really should mention in an overview of the widgets functionality in Document X is the Colorized Example Code widget. So as you might imagine from the description, what that allows me to do is to embed automatically colorized example code within my content here. So I'm just going to demonstrate how that works. So again, from the widget button, I'm going to select Colorized Example Code, and I'm going to type a title for my example here. That's in the first editable area here in the widget. In the second area, I can define the language that my example is related to. So I'm just going to go with the default C# for the example language, and I'm going to type a quick bit of code here. So whilst we're editing, this example code appears just as regular content in the editor, and I can just type to create that. When I switch to preview, I can see that becomes automatically colorized code. So that provides a really neat way of automatically colorizing some example code. So that concludes this really brief introduction to the widgets functionality in Document X 2010.